Hello everyone. If you want to learn new openings or you want to learn some new lines, one of the things that you have to do is to study some Grandmasters games. So you can watch their games, you can understand their ideas, and later it will be much easier for you to play it in your games. This is the reason today, this is going to be the first time I think, I'm going to present you the first game. It's going to be Kramnik against Carlsen, so two top players. And I'm going to explain you how did Kramnik use one of the lines, one of the openings from the rock solid opening repertoire. But before we go into the game, let me just remind you that you can visit the website rocksolid.matbibula.com and you can get completely for free full complete repertoire for white and black. Okay, so let's start. The first game that I wanted to show you, this is like a Kramnik against Carlsen. This is a blitz game, but it was well-known variation was played here, and this is one of the lines that you can find in the rock solid opening repertoire. So let's just take a look what happened. Kramnik started with knight f3, okay, knight f6, c4. Okay, it was different moves order, but obviously you can see that we have got a position that happens in the Catalan. Okay, black plays bishop e7, bishop goes to g2, black castles, white castles. So this is the main variation of the Catalan. And now you need to know that this is like a critical position because black has got several different plans. Some people, including me, playing c5, some people are playing c6. c6, by the way, is the most popular variation here among club players. b6 is another story. Some people are playing knight bd7, but Carlsen decided to play d takes c4. And you need to know that such a late d takes c4 variation is very popular among grandmasters, but it's not that popular, among players below 2000. But at the top level, it happens quite often. And now what white can do in this position? Of course, white has to go and capture that pawn. This is the reason why white plays queen c2, trying to take it back. b5 is quite risky for black because you can see the diagonal. So there are like some discoveries. This is the reason why black plays a6. Of course, white has to take it back. Black plays b5 attacking the queen. And now you need to know that in a lot of variations, including early d takes c4, early d takes c4, I mean d takes c4 in the move number 4, I recommend to go queen to d3. But in that specific variation, I think it's better to go queen c2 because you can see that pawn at the c7 becomes backwards, and that pawn, that is by the way on the half open c file, can be a very good target for white. So this is something that white will try to attack. Okay, black develops bishop b7, and now white plays a very special move, bishop d2. At the first glance, that move may look that it's passive, but that idea is connected to attacking that pawn, because bishop wants to go to the a5, and bishop is attacking pawn at c7, and also it makes a place for the rook to come to c1, because really this is a really good target for white. And this is what happened in the game. Of course, you need to know that this is theory. Now the most popular move from what I know is bishop e4, but Carlsen decided to play knight c6. You can see that knight c6 is stopping bishop a5, but at the same time, it's attacking pawn at the d4. So white plays e3 because white, of course, has to protect it. Okay. Black plays knight b4. Okay, and now, of course, queen is under attack, and white exchanges. You know, that bishop at d2 is not fantastic right now. That bishop could be good if it can go to the a5 square. But because now it's not that fantastic, so white doesn't mind to exchange it. So bishop takes b4, bishop takes back, and now white plays a3. Okay. Bishop goes to e7, and white plays knight bd2. So white just develops. Also, the idea of playing a3 was to play b4 at the right moment. because b4 move will completely fix pawn at c7 as a backwards pawn. Okay, rook goes to c8, and now white plays b4. This is exactly the idea. Now it's hard to imagine how black in the future can play c5. That pawn is a big weakness. Of course, it's still a very long way until white can get that pawn, but weakness is fixed. Okay, black plays a5, white plays knight e5. That move has got several ideas. First of all, this is like a very typical move in the Catalan. Second thing, white is also exchanging those bishops, and later there is a chance that knight can go to the c6 square. And now you can see that pawn at b4, that is attacked twice, it's not really hanging, because later white has got knight c6 move, making and forking queen and something that will be at the b4 square. So okay, so now black plays knight d5, and this is not the most accurate move, because you need to know that after bishop takes g2, that would be probably better. Now, of course, king captures g2, and now after this move, knight c6, so this is not that fantastic, I think, for the opponent, but I think black can just play c6. Of course, now knight cannot take it because queen goes to d5. And this position, white is probably slightly better. White probably has to play something like rook b1 protecting that pawn. Later, white will bring another rook to the c1. White is slightly better, but this is not a significant advantage. This is, but here Carlsen made an inaccuracy, knight d5, and now white enters knight b3. The idea, of course, is to, you see, it's attacking a5 square, that knight can later enter to the a5. And of course, it keeps possibility to go to the c5 square. Okay, pawn captures here, and now knight a5. You can see that the bishop that black didn't exchange is in trouble. Bishop has to go somewhere, and now there is knight c6. Take a look. Knight from d2 maneuvered to excellent place at the c6. Now that knight is a real monster. Okay, bishop takes c6. Of course, knight takes c6. Okay, queen goes to d7. Bishop takes d5. Very important move, because after, in case white captures like this, then probably black can take it, takes, and white probably goes bishop c6, trying to take material back. But you can see that this position, it's equal. Opposite color bishops. Okay, maybe that pawn at c7 is not great, but it's hard to imagine how white can continue. This is the reason why bishop takes d5 is a very important move. And of course, you always have to be very careful when you're exchanging your light square bishop in the Catalan. And never do that if black still keeps the light square bishop, because light squares around the king, they are going to be very, very weak. But because black hasn't got that piece, now I think it's a good idea for white to do that. And now you can see that pawn has to take it. After queen takes d5, knight takes e7, and there is a fork, as you can see. So pawn takes d5, and white captures here. And now, okay, black plays rook e8. And now let's stop for a second here. You can see that white has got the advantage because white has got a very powerful knight at the outpost at the c6. Pawn at c7, this is like a backward pawn. So that pawn is quite weak. You can also see that white has got open file A that later can be used to enter with pieces. And you can also see that the C file is also half open. So it can be also used for the attack. And probably the only weakness for white is that pawn at the b4 that is under attack. But basically white is leading 4-1. So that means that white has got a clear advantage. And now rook goes to a5. White is also trying to put more pressure over that pawn. Okay. Bishop goes back to f8, and now knight goes to the e5. The reason why it wasn't like the best move is because rook e6, and now that knight is in trouble. And also black had got also a hidden idea of moving rook here and entering queen h3, and black has got some counterplay. But you know that Kramnik was well known for, for not giving your opponent, the opponent, any chances to get the attack. Okay, so this is why knight goes to e5. Okay, queen goes to e6, and now rook captures b5, because there is no danger that black will play, black will make that rook lift. Okay, rook goes to b8. Of course, you're up. Exchange, rook takes, queen takes c7, and now b4 pawn is under attack, but at the same time rook at the b8 is also not protected, so bishop goes to d6, queen goes to the a5, and now Carlsen made a final mistake, played bishop b4, and this is a very bad move because he completely missed rook b1. And now you can see that there is a pin, and you can see there is like a big problem. Of course, the bishop cannot take it because rook captures, and there is a back rank checkmate. Yes, as you can see. Okay, so black played queen d6, but of course, after queen a4, black resigned. Of course, probably black could still play a couple moves, like, black could still go bishop d2, but then rook captures b8, queen captures, and queen goes to d7, and white is winning another pawn. And I think that the end game, queen and the knight and 5 pawns against queen and the bishop against 3 pawns, should be easy win for white. So this is like a really nice win from the Kramnik's side. And yeah, so I think it shows that at the top level, Catalan is also one of the best openings that white can choose. So hope you like the game. I really hope you enjoyed the game and you will use some of the ideas. I just want to remind you, don't forget to get the free repertoire. You can find the link below the video. Please also do not forget to subscribe the channel. Please also do not forget to thumb up if you enjoy it. Please also leave a comment and tell me, how do you like that new format? Do you want to see more games like this? Thank you very much for watching and hope to see you next time.